Well, that is just great news. Um, I mean, chaos. Wonderful, right?
Yes,
Good.
I enjoy every second of it,
Care to
as exhausting as it is.
elucidate upon your chaos?
Well, today I had an appointment to pick up my APAP machine at 12:10.
Okay.
Um, Lost track of time. 12:03 gets here, and I realize I got to be there at 12:10,
Oh
and
my,
it's 15 minutes away.
not bad.
So I jumped in my car and drove, almost getting hit by an idiot that doesn't know how to use a blinker. Um,
That's most of them.
and got there at 12:12. I call the curbside number, and they say this branch is closed during for lunch until 1. And why did y'all tell me to be here at 12:10?
Because reasons, things, different things.
So instead of just driving back home and then waiting for 1 o'clock and coming back, I just stayed.
Mm-hmm.
1 o'clock comes around and people start showing up. People that apparently were in the know that they are closed until 1. Nurses start showing back up,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody's getting their stuff and leaving, and I'm still sitting there. A lady comes up, asks me for my information. I give it to her, and she's like, okay, she'll be right out.
Mm-hmm.
30 minutes go by, still nobody. So I called the number again, and they checked me in like I hadn't been sitting there for an hour and a half. And then 45 minutes later, or not 45 minutes later, 15 minutes later, somebody finally brought my APAT machine to me.
Gotta love it.
It's not hideous.
That's pretty hideous. I'll throw it. I have not for clarity. I'm about to post something in the Rosers podcast chat, and it is not something that I have printed. It is something that somebody else has printed. It is 100% legal for them or me if I should decide to want to print it. It is, however, a sin against humanity to have created such a monstrosity.
I disagree.
I mean, okay, it is a sin against good taste and all aesthetics to have created such a monstrosity.
I have neither of those things.
That probably explains why you have no problem with it.
But you were asking earlier what the difference between a CPAP and an APAP is.
Mm-hmm.
A CPAP is a air, continual pressure
Air pump?
air pump.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what it is. Continual pressure air pump. APAP is assisted pressure air pump. And so where the continual one is continual air, the APAP only blows air when you need it. It's more controlled,
Gotcha.
and they can adjust things as need be um, based on my sleep.
Hmm.
So they monitor it, and if I have any trouble, I just call them up and say, "Hey, my machine is waking me up at X amount of time every night," and they'll go in and adjust it.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, so I picked that up today. So tonight will be my first night using it.
Mm-hmm.
I did take a nap with it earlier, and I was almost into REM sleep, and Ducky called me.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
Literally.
yeah,
Except for duck.
yeah.
I
So
just got 3 puns in. So fast. I'm so
you
happy.
you did, you did, and because they're puns, I allowed them.
uh, that just
But yeah,
encourages me.
I know. Um, but we're going to see her grandparents tomorrow,
Uh-huh.
so I have to be up and out of the house by 7 in the morning.
Uh-huh.
So I've got to get up at my normal time tomorrow.
Well, that's going to be just
So that's another
wonderful.
reason this podcast is going to be short this time.
I also have to get up early tomorrow. It's going to be just fantastic. I can feel it already in my bones. We have special music for Easter in my church, and our pastor's wife decided, whoop, sorry, pushing buttons. Shouldn't push buttons. Sorry, you didn't hear any of that, Masters, but the people on watching with headphones on probably really understood what that was about. Sorry.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Something. Oh, yeah, so they're asking us to, not asking, it's kind of a voluntold sort of thing. Hey, you should be at the church tomorrow at 9 a.m. for choir practice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, okay. That's a thing I want to do on a Saturday.
It sounds like it's a thing you want to do on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the APAP machine is going to take a little bit of getting used to. I think I've got the right size I need, but it's weird because it's not one that goes in my nose. My nose just rests up against it, and there's a hole cut out for my nostrils.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime that I am breathing out, it stops airflow. And anytime I go to suck in, it blows air into my lungs.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really weird because I feel like I'm fighting the machine a lot, but I don't really need to, I don't think.
Right.
But it's just going to take some getting used to.
So, I was once diagnosed with sleep apnea. I think we talked about this before, and
Yep.
I think it was bullcrap. And I'm generally of the opinion that I don't really care even if I do have it, because I cannot sleep with that much equipment strapped to my face.
It's actually not that bad.
That is a subjective comparison. Like my sleeping mask that just covers the eyes, like that is to me is essential. I can't sleep without it. Well, I mean that's not true. I can sleep without it, but it's I go to sleep much more quickly when I have it. How about that?
At least you feel like you do, Mr. 4 hours a night.
I mean, if I'm only getting 4 hours a night, how quickly I go to sleep makes a big difference.
You're not wrong.
And so, but I know I'm conscious, perhaps there might be something to it. And so I had this commercial pop up on YouTube a couple of weeks ago for the Airing micro cordless CPAP device. Have you heard of that at all?
No.
Well, let me provide information. It's apparently just like a little plug thing that you shove up your nose, which is a great way to describe a medical device. And it almost looks like there's a couple different versions I've seen. This one seems to be the most legitimate. The other ones seem to have like this little itty bitty tiny fan on the inside that just like, this will work. This one almost looks like it's using like Dyson wind tunnel technology to just like blast air up your nose. However, it doesn't have any water in it, which might be not so great.
Mine can be used with or without water.
Is it more?
I don't have water in it right now.
Okay, I was gonna say, is it like uncomfortable if you don't have water?
I didn't use water in it last night, or not last night, during my nap. But I don't know. Haven't tried it with water yet.
So how long have you had this thing?
I got it today.
Oh, okay. So like this is, I was somewhat under the assumption that you had it longer. I don't know why I was under that assumption, but I'm an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh.
One of the mask designs that they offered me has nose plugs like that, and the lady that was telling me about them goes, "These hurt your nostrils."
Well, that's great. Oh, you've seen these before then?
Not these specifically,
Mm-hmm.
but uh, one of the masks has a similar design to it.
That's fair. I mean, it doesn't look terribly comfortable, but it does look, in my mind, slightly less obtrusive than you know other things.
Yeah.
Like I think on the website here, it even has a picture of precisely what I'm talking about. Um,
Yep.
if I can get it to load.
I don't have the full mask.
Okay, so you just have like the little nose thing.
Yeah. See if I can. Um,
Yeah, there we go. Somehow to me, that just doesn't seem like comfortable sleeping. But what do I know? Oh, this one here even has just the little nose thing.
there we
Plus, I'm one of those. I'm like, I don't know if I am anymore, but I have a distinct memory of at one time being a very active sleeper.
That is what mine looks like.
Okay, that's actually not bad. That's doable.
And
Um,
the hose is connected to the top of the head.
that is a much better design. Um, but as I was saying, I have memory of being a very active sleeper. Someone who just kind of flops around all night long.
Yep. I
And
can attest to that.
I have this not totally unjustified fear of strangling
Strangling yourself.
myself with those.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, that one, the pump hose is on the top of the head.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
no likelihood of that it goes down.
Oh dear.
Oh my goodness. This just looks uncomfortable.
Oh, do tell. Do share. That's it. Oh dear. Wow. Is that like that's held on with adhesive?
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
I mean, I guess your pores will be clean, but maybe there are some benefits. Oh dear. Oh man. Oh yeah. I don't. And that does not in any way, shape, or form fix the strangling yourself issue.
Nope.
The one that you have, if the valve is where I think it is, like up, actually, like on top of your head.
Yeah, here's a better view.
Yeah. So like you could theoretically string that through your headboard and like
Yep.
not have to worry about offing yourself in the middle of the night. I can't, doctor. I can't breathe with a CPAP machine. Why not? It's strangling me. Oh man. That's yeah. Okay, that I'm rescinding some of my criticisms of CPAP machines because that one, I mean, I understand it's not a CPAP, it's an APAP, yada yada yada, but it does look more comfortable and legitimate than ones I have seen. Obviously, because those are the ones that I've seen. They're not great. Um, oh. One complete week later.
Greetings.
Well,
Oh. How are you doing?
oh, I'm just freaking out. No, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Why do I feel like your first reaction was better than your second?
I mean,
Or more accurate, not better.
can both of them be accurate?
Absolutely.
Because, like, I quit my job yesterday.
Uh-huh.
I don't have another job yet.
Uh-huh.
But my job that I left decided that they really, really liked me.
Mm-hmm.
And not only did they send me home with like enough food to get me through the winter, it's all sugar, of course. But they also got me some other stuff that was very nice.
Which is
Well, really just one thing.
the clicking supposed to be a hint?
Probably. You know that thing that I've been obsessing about for like the last month or so, maybe two.
You mean forever?
Yep, close enough.
Where'd they
Yeah,
get you?
they didn't quite buy it for me, but they
But they gave you enough money as a going away present that you went and bought it yourself?
yeah like expressly told me like, hey, you should have like they have not given me my last check yet, but just like the people who I worked with, they like pulled a bunch of money again, like, here, take this with you, and please buy exactly this. And I'm like, well, if you insist.
That sounds like you.
I mean, so like I sat on it for like a full day, and then like after I finished my first, second, one of my Bible studies today, hanged if I know which one. Um, Probably the second one. There we go. Um, I went over to local place and I picked myself up one of these. Not just one of those, that one exactly. It is
Alrighty then.
it is beautiful. I know I set up one of the other one actually, and they did have the other one. But when I put this one in my hand, it just felt so much better. It's like 2 or 3 ounces heavier because it's actually a steel frame rather than the zinc alloy one.
Uh-huh.
That's on the two tone, and it's just it's so nice. Stylish feel of it. The trigger is like 2 pounds.
Yeah.
I may be heavy this firearm. Um,
That sounds about right for you.
yeah, I'm a very simple man.
Mm-hmm.
Very simple things. Can't get much more simple than a single action army uh firing action.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's so cheap, but still so smooth. It's just makes me happy. Way, way happier than I haven't even got to shoot it yet. But I still don't care. I'm still happy.
Oh, speaking of which, I really need to um words are hard. Get my concealed carry permit.
Worth that feel. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this one. Although I will say, I do for like at least for an initial first single concealed carry. Although I do really like it, and yeah. So full disclosure, I got it right, and
Mm-hmm.
and then so it's just a 22, but there's some
That's pretty.
it is very pretty. There's some other stuff you can do to it, which is
That's
nice.
actually pretty much what I want.
What?
That gun.
Oh, well, then you might be interested in my proposed alterations to it. So it's like $200 out the door.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
No, and actually, it's a little bit less, but depending on like local laws and sales taxes and yada yada, you get that how that goes. It might be a little bit more or less. Um, If you get it at the right place, you might be able to get it for considerably less. I've seen some people posting that they got them for as little as $150.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a couple of alterations that I'm looking to make to it, which is going to add about $100 to the total cost. Maybe a little bit more depending on which cylinder I end up getting. So first things first, I want to upgrade it from 22 long rifle to 22 Winchester Magnum for just a little bit of extra pop. And the standard cylinder is $30. You can pay a little bit extra and you can get some fancy engraving on there, but just for proof of concept, you can do that. Next, I want to change over the grip from being a standard grip like that one. And I'm going to replace the lower frame with a bird's head frame. And then I'm going to get me some black mother of pearl handles, which I think will cover this thing beautifully. And those are all roughly $30 a piece. So drop an extra $100 into the cheapest gun. Well, okay, one of the cheapest guns I own because I want to. Oh,
sounds about right. For you, at least.
But I mean, again, I'm just gonna do this again. Oh, it's just smooth. It sounds like 5-year-old Gavi is having a great day because 5-year-old Gavi wanted to be John Wayne, and now Gavi has a proper cowboy wheel gun, and it is.
I'm glad it's 5-year-old Gavi and not 15-year-old Gavi.
15-year-old Gavi.
I would be concerned if that was the noises 15-year-old Gavi was making.
What, this one? Such great. Yeah, but just a great. I will point it out though. It's kind of it's really the kind of gun where like you want to make sure that everything that you finish up, everything that you might get yourself into, can be finished in 6 shots or less, which is probably like the 22 Magnum conversion's a really good idea. Because it does not have an extractor. So there's like an extra secondary little pokey tool that you carry with you, pop down the cylinder to knock stuff out. And that's really the only way to get the spent casings out. And it's not a quick process. So making sure that, like I said, 22 long rifle it'll do what it needs to do. But if you're going to actually carry it for like legitimate purposes, getting that 22 WMR cylinder is kind of a necessity. And I was like, there's still videos out there of guys who are getting like, close to 1,300 feet per second out of that little tiny 2 1/4 inch barrel. So it's capable.
Hey, size doesn't always matter.
That's true. Typically, barrel length on a pistol, it does matter quite a bit, but I'm gonna leave that as it is. Oh, unless that's something I should look into, I kind of want to hold on to that video for later. I was just looking for a video I saw yesterday, where a guy was demonstrating what he thought would be a myth busting on the old 22 long rifle is the most deadly handgun caliber in the world, because technically more people have been killed by it than any other caliber, but that's more just by proliferation of use as opposed to being like an actually viable deadly caliber. Well, he accidentally proved one of the more ridiculous claims to be mostly true. That a 22 long rifle fired at the head, proper shot placement is the most important thing, will only enter the skull but not exit, not have sufficient velocity to go back out. and so it will just kind of bounce around the inside, which I don't really know anyone who could really survive that. But he accidentally proved that to be correct, and I'm like, really? That always seemed kind of suspect to me, but I can't argue with video evidence, man. It is what it is. Of course, then I just saw this video, which I'll have to go back and watch later because I haven't seen it yet, from a channel called 22 Plinkster, and apparently they're now making a 22 long rifle defensive ammo, which already seems suspect to me. Because rimfire in general is less reliable than centerfire, and that just seems like it might not go so well. But yeah, I am definitely going to have to do some investigation on that one, and then probably get myself down to the range and put a couple hundred rounds through here. I have heard that since you're looking at these, I have heard that there's a little bit of a break-in period on them. Like the action and everything is just smoother than all get out, but apparently the barrel may not be the most well finished barrel out there, which I mean, $200 gun, what do you expect? And so they recommend shooting like 200 rounds through it, just to like knock out any burrs or anything in there that could affect accuracy. Which I'm like, you're telling me it's a better idea than I already thought it was to go to the range and shoot 200 rounds? Okay, twist my arm. That seems like a good way of expressing that. Have I gone off the rails yet? Or did I start there? Masters? You're muted.
Oh, I accidentally muted myself.
Mm-hmm.
No, you have not gone off the rails. You're good.
Okay. Oh, here's that video I was looking for. There's the one from yesterday. That's not going to cause problems at all, I'm sure. I do need to watch that punch ammo one. Seems kind of interesting. I was not prepared to see that. So yeah, how's your week been, Mr. Masters?
It's been good. Work has been annoying, but that's work.
You know, I don't feel like I can complain about my work anymore at the moment. I don't have to go back on Monday. Oh, you know, at least that's the theory. I gotta start doing interviews. Well, I mean, I already did an interview, but you know, all part of the process. So we probably should pick up roughly where we left off, and I will add that 15 minutes or so from last week in somewhere, probably right about here. Or not.
Long pause. Is that where you're going to stick it right there in that long pause?
Well, I thought about it. I'm like, actually, now it's kind of funny if I just leave a long pause and then they're like waiting for like things to come in from last week and like there's nothing.
That would be something you would do.
It absolutely would, because it requires less work on my part. Anyway, yeah. So you're now caught up on Falcon Winter Soldier. Yes.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I am. So, I'm filling out the pistol permit.
Oh.
And every time I press 1 on my numpad, it mutes me.
That's helpful.
So.
That's not very helpful at all. In fact, so I have to ask before we get into this: have you seen this meme? Also, are you muted again?
No, I'm responding to something right now. No, I have not seen that meme. Same energy.
Apparently, it's something that has been noticed a couple times. I did see a really good poster, but I haven't been able to find the actual picture after I saw it the first time. Unfortunate.
Oh my goodness. And get this man some balloon. Oh my goodness.
I'm going to be honest. I think this might be Disney's first major casting mistake.
Mistake?
Mistake.
Why do you think it's a mistake?
Because up until episode 4, I generally thought Wyatt Russell was entirely too likable. Like, he is clearly turning into the bad guy. Like, clearly. But you cannot take the son of Kurt Russell and make me not like him. You just...
I never liked him. From the first shot, didn't like him. I thought he was Casey Neistat the first shot, but I still didn't like him.
Like, I 100%. He's just likable. He's way too likable a dude. And the thing is, that problem is also extending to Zemo. Right now, at the end of episode 4, Zemo is the most likable character in the show.
I disagree with that.
Well, how would you disagree with that? He's wonderful. I'm enjoying every second that he's on screen.
Well, yeah, but you're a psychopath.
That notwithstanding, like, he's clearly got something else going on. He's clearly, manipulating and everything. Not in the shadows, like right in front of other people, and they're just too stupid to figure it out. Like, the whole attack in his apartment, nobody's like, hey. Like, he's just standing there casually finishing his drink.
For real. Yes, absolutely.
And I'm like...
That was the first thing Ducky said. She was like, you idiots, that's his apartment!
Like, nobody thought, hey, maybe we should, like, stop fighting each other for a second. We can talk this out, but we should really make sure he doesn't go anywhere. And I'm like, I love his just, like, casual energy. He's just like...
He's just like, closing the doors...
Like, even in the awkward scene where he's in the club, which, did you see that Disney released a 1-hour cut of him dancing awkwardly in the club?
No, I did not.
I have to find that. Ended. Yeah, it's a full hour cut released by Disney of him just awkwardly dancing around the club. He is my favorite character. I mean, plus he's honest and he has integrity. Like, when he's standing over whatever her name is, Erin Kellyman. Can't remember the character's name. I could care less about her, really. Her character, the actress is awesome. The character, I feel, is poorly written, but that's me. But, like, he's standing over her and he's like holding the vial and you're like, oh, is he going to change sides and inject himself? And he's like, no, I'm legitimate and I stay 100% committed to my cause. And he just starts breaking all the vials. I'm like, I love this guy. I relate to that level of integrity. You are a good person. Despite the fact that he's killed a lot of people. I mean, aside from that, he's like, I'm like cheering him on. And again, new Captain America, U.S. agent, Wyatt Russell, John Walker. His turn is completely predictable and was from episode 1, but even now that he's like gone crazy, I can't say that I don't understand. Like, they killed his friend.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When she kicked him across the room into that pillar and he slumped over, I was like, ooh, he dead.
Yes.
You guys wanted to have him be he's the villain now. Yeah, you done messed up.
Well,
I didn't like him before, but now he's got a reason.
Well, here's my thing. Okay, so number one, Lamar Hoskins was clearly only ever there to die. Like, that was his entire purpose in the show.
Absolutely.
He's the
100%.
best friend who's like, he is the triggering event. You could see that from episode 1. It's like, yes, he's gonna die.
He is Bucky.
Except for Bucky came back. Lamar's not coming back.
That's true.
He ain't coming back. I'm sorry. But I mean, aside from the very brutal means that he used to do it after, things went south, is what he did any different than what Steve did? Because Steve, they kill Bucky. Okay. What's he do? He goes and he starts killing a whole bunch of Germans. He doesn't, knock them out and take them captive and make sure that they serve their proper sentences after the Nuremberg trials. He shows up with a 1911 and starts, just capping fools. Mild pun intended there. Hoping. Never mind. Anyway, so, this is just kind of what happens.
Dadgummit, I muted myself again.
Oh.
Yes, I got the pun.
Okay.
Thank you.
I was like, man, it's really quiet on the other side. I would at least get a groan from that.
No.
But, yeah. So, I'm still kind of on his side, too. Sam is, they're clearly trying to set him up to be the next Captain America, properly. Are they, though? They are. They really are.
You sure?
Pretty sure.
I don't think so.
Because they're trying to show that he has, the right moral fortitude to not just go around killing people. He's going to try and talk it out first, and he's going to be peacefully focused. And then if everything really starts to go south, then in episode 6, he's going to have to take the super soldier serum and become the new Captain America to stop the present Captain America.
No.
I can almost guarantee you he's going to take it.
I can almost guarantee you he won't.
80% he's taking it.
We will see. And I highly doubt it.
Definitely take it. And then I don't know what's going to happen with Bucky. He had a really good kind of 2-episode arc in episode 3 and episode 4. But I still feel like there was just there's more that he can do. And we're getting a little bit of touch of that with some of the Wakandan callbacks. But I don't know. I still want to see more from him. It still feels like he's mostly just there for being the actual muscle of the group. We don't know what we're doing. Hey, throw in the Bionic Man. Okay. Stand clear. I'm going to throw some people.
Hold on a second. I've got to get names straight because. Oh, there we go. Oh, nope. I made it worse. Carly.
Yes.
That's what I thought she said. If it hadn't been for her blowing up that building, I really think it would be awesome if she turned into Captain America.
I think she's got too many other issues going on. And I think the idea that the super soldier serum enhancing not just your physicality but all the underlying parts of your personality as well. I think she has entirely too much insecurity to actually be a proper Captain America. And the thing is, you could say Steve Rogers, he had insecurity. Well, he had insecurity about stupid stuff. And after it was the large overarching aspects of his general goodness and standing up for the little guy, even when sometimes he was the little guy, that really was the thing that made him great.
That's what she does.
Not so much.
Yeah. That's exactly what she's doing. She's standing up for the little guy. She was standing up for all the people that had finally found their place in the world during the blip that were all re-displaced after everybody came back.
Okay,
She was standing up for that half of the population.
As much as I am a villain apologist in practically everything, this episode, of course, being a prime example of that, I can't really get behind the idea that, because if you listen to the ideology of her group, they are trying to return the world to a active blip setting, which means that half the people have to disappear again.
Uh-huh.
Let me restate that. She's taking Thanos' side in the snap.
Yeah.
Okay. As long as you're good with the idea that she is totally on board with wiping out half of all life everywhere.
Yeah. I'm good with that.
Okay. I mean, there was the meme for a while that Thanos
I just had a thought.
Yes.
I just had a thought.
Yeah.
So,
Did it hurt?
probably. So Thanos snapped, half the population of the universe gone.
Mm-hmm.
When Iron Man snapped, did he bring back the entire universe that was gone, or just the population on Earth?
Iron Man didn't do that snap. Hulk did that snap.
Oh, you're right.
Iron Man snapped away Thanos. As far as we can tell, so far we don't know. Hulk did bring back everything and everyone, as far as we can tell.
Just a thought I had.
Yeah, we don't really know, and we probably won't know until either until Doctor Strange or the next Guardians of the Galaxy film comes out. But it would appear that he was successful in bringing back everybody.
Just a thought that I had while we were having this conversation.
A fair thought, fair question. We, like I said, we don't yet have that context, but it would appear that everyone is back everywhere. What else have we got here?
Yes, this was the absolute best episode. And I'm actually, there's only been 2 shows out so far, but I'm noticing a trend that episode 4 is the first big episode. Because that was the one that got me excited about
WandaVision?
WandaVision was the 4th episode.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, Falcon and Winter Soldier only has 2 left.
What?
I'm pretty sure it's the 6th episode.
I don't think that's right.
Double check, but I'm pretty sure. Oh crap! I'm gonna have to go on IMDb for this. Oh, please no spoilers.
Oh, yeah, it says 6. There are no pictures for 5 and 6.
Okay, that's good. I mean, it wasn't the pictures that spoiled the last thing for me. So.
Oh, that's true. Well, I don't know names, so.
True. Now that I'm here, I'm kind of curious. Is there any names I recognize that I haven't seen yet? Nope. No one really that I recognize. That's fine. What'd you think of the doctor guy who didn't last real long? In episode 3.
What do you mean? What did I think about him?
I mean, like, was his I thought when they first went into the lab, I thought it was going to be the guy from Incredible Hulk, the guy who
that would have been good. Yeah.
That would have been a great crossover. I almost feel now that when I thought about it, I'm like, man, we actually got kind of cheated here. I do like. I mean, I'm going to go back on this again. I really like the just single-minded consistency that Zemo has. Like, he does not care about anything else but making sure that there are no more supers.
Yeah.
That's really difficult to maintain narratively without either making him the absolute villain or without accidentally making him the hero, which I'm kind of leaning towards the idea that they're accidentally making him the hero. I really like the turn he's taking.
Really, at this point, do you really think that Marvel's or Disney's going to make a mistake like that? That it would be an actual mistake?
I am totally on board if they want to make a Zemo hero. I would be so happy about that.
So speaking of Disney not making mistakes,
mm-hmm.
So I watched it yesterday morning
mm-hmm.
in anticipation for last night.
Yep.
And then when I went over to Ducky's place, we watched it together.
Right.
And the first time I had the question, and then the second time I actually tried to answer the question. And the question being, did Zemo actually crush all of the vials except the one? And so I listened very carefully to him crushing the bottles because it doesn't show every time.
Right.
But I listened, and based on just the sound of crushing vials alone,
mm-hmm.
plus the one that fake Captain America picked up, and the 8 super soldiers,
okay,
there's still an outstanding vial.
Like I said, Sam's getting it. Sam's gonna be the next super soldier.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I highly doubt it.
What's gonna happen? You can watch this play out. They're gonna get into a situation. They're gonna be trying to protect Carly from John Walker as he just goes crazy and just starts, leaving a trail of blood all across Europe. And they're gonna get it's gonna be a big showdown moment, and Zemo's gonna be there, and he's gonna be like, see, this is, I think, why he asked that question in the apartment. Would you take it? No.
Yeah.
An immediate answer.
Impressive.
I really, really think he's going to use it to try and call out Sam's hypocrisy. He's going to wait until it's a dire moment. He's going to be like, would you like to save the girl? I have the means. And ultimately, something's going to happen and Sam's going to take it. He's going to be new Captain America. Zemo definitely has the other one. If in fact that is Marvel not making a mistake, which I would tend to agree, they don't tend to make a lot of mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Not mistakes like that, anyways.
If that is the case, and he has one vial, I could absolutely see that being how that plays out. Obviously, fired. All you have to do to defeat him is to take it. What will you do, Sam?
This just makes me even more excited for the next 2 episodes.
That's kind of the idea, really. They want building tension, which they have now. I mean, not that they didn't have before, but it's really come up big in the last, because now we're past all the world building, which I don't know why we had to go to Madripoor, because it was kind of pointless, but it really was. But aside from that, I guess they had to give Zemo something to do. Or again, it really feels a little bit like they're trying to make him the main character. Like, they give him a whole episode basically just to prove how useful he was, where everybody else just ran around like chickens with their heads cut off and did nothing. And all it did was establish him further as a character and his consistency in his dedication to his cause. That's all of episode 3. We have Zemo now. Also, the breakout scene was amazing. I love that breakout scene. especially
Technically, he broke himself out.
I know, but I mean that's what made it so great because Bucky's in there like, oh well, hypothetically, yada yada yada, and it's like, and he knows exactly everything that's going on there, and it shows it to you. It's one of the best. It almost works as a throwaway line, as a whole throwaway scene, but the way that they present it is so it's humorous.
Perfect.
It's well shot. I mean, and the juxtaposition between like this matter of fact conversation where he's like, "Would you be mad if?" And then it's like, yes, clearly he would be mad. Like, I know I didn't tell you because you would be mad, but I'm just asking if you'd be mad. Yeah, I think that was beautiful. Again, the whole entire episode 3 was just to make Zemo look good, and boy did he.
You're not wrong.
I want more.
Yeah, he has Moriarty vibes to me.
Is he the smartest villain they've come up against so far? Like, no, okay, yes, there are cosmic beings who I'm sure have more knowledge and everything.
Well, I mean, Loki.
Okay, Loki would top him. Except for the fact that Loki just kind of. I mean, okay, so qualifiers.
Is Loki a little too Loki?
So in Civil War, Zemo's plan was entirely too complicated.
Thank you for sidestepping that.
Absolutely. In Civil War, Zemo's plan was like entirely too convoluted and complicated. And it seemed like it required far too many just random coincidences to actually work. To the point that it almost became a meme that, like, why on earth did this? In fact, I believe it did become a meme about how complicated Zemo's plan was, and yet somehow it still worked. And the fact it was like most of his plan required random events to happen totally at the behest of other people that he had no control over, and somehow it still worked. Which is a little bit much for my suspension of disbelief, that notwithstanding. In this series, he is like 3 steps ahead of everybody else, easily, to the point like he breaks out of jail. Well, what are we going to do?
Well, let's hop on. He's had a lot of time in jail to sit there and think about, okay, how was my first plan horrible?
Mm-hmm.
And he's had a lot of time to think and plan, and yeah,
they just like pops out and it's like, hey, let's hop in my private jet. Who knew you were rich? I'm a baron. Deal with it, basically. He's just smart, and I really am appreciative of the level of respect they're paying to his character. Because I mean, they could just kind of like, he's there, leave him out entirely, find some other means. But by pulling him in, they are really giving him a lot to do, and he's doing it very, very, very well. And I'm just going to say this: the actor himself, Daniel Bruhl, is great. I've seen him in a couple different things now, and everything that he's done is just spot on. He knows his characters inside and out, and he plays them exceptionally well. So yeah, I'm in case it wasn't, I'm super heavy on.
I can tell. Yeah,
it's a problem. I mean, not for me, but for other people. Oh.
Well, Gabby.
What anything else for this one here, Masters?
No, I don't have anything else for that.
Again, not super thrilled with her character writing, but Erin Kellyman is still amazing.
Who?
Erin Kellyman, the actress who's portraying Carly. I want to see her. I need to like look her up and see what she's done that actually is like a full part and not just a bit support piece for something else going on. Oh ho ho! Well, I'm going to be seeing that movie. she's apparently going to be playing in a movie called The Green Knight, which is a retelling of one of my favorite Scottish fables, myths. I'm not really sure which one, but is Dev Patel playing? Okay, whatever. All right. I guess that is what it is. Although if she's playing Winifred, that might still be
It
a
looks
bit
like
part.
Solo was her first breakout film.
Yeah. Um. But expected July 30th, 2021. I am definitely going to have to see this. I didn't even know this was happening. Like, I'm Scottish. I should know that they're making a movie about one of my all-time favorite Scottish myths. I have the book right here. Like, that's how much I own the book for this Scottish fable, myth, whatever. I think it's
Well,
actually
then who is Winifred?
who is Winifred?
Uh
It's been a while.
huh.
I can't
It's
remember.
been a while.
So I'm pretty sure that she's actually. I mean, giving away the end of the story. I'm pretty sure she's actually the ends up being the wife of the Green Knight, who does not declare herself to be that, and ends up tempting Sir Gawain to forgo his vow of chastity. Like almost she almost gets him, and if he had forgone that, then he would have ended up dead. But he was able to maintain most of it, and as a result, he received only a small wounding for his indiscretion. But it is definitely. Can't remember. I can't remember though if that's Winifred or if that's the other lady. So, whichever one it is, the wife of the Green Knight is supposed to be a redhead, which Erin Kellyman is naturally. So I'm calling. I'm just gonna say that's the right one. I could be wrong, but I'm calling it that one.
Alrighty then.
Mm-hmm. It actually looks pretty good. I mean, there's only like 6 photos and a bunch of trailers that I can't watch right now because it's gonna mess up the recording, but it actually looks pretty decent. Although it looks like Dev Patel has CGI abs. Take it back. Uh yeah. So cool. Um hmm. 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 Hmm.
So Kuya started streaming again.
Really? I was unaware of
Yep.
this.
He streams almost every weekday in the afternoons.
I will have to drop in on one of his streams. You know, haven't done that
I'm
in
never
like.
there. I'm never there for any of them, but he does it.
You sound like the kind of person that I am.
I'm turning into that.
Well, I fear that your slow metamorphosis into that kind of person is only just beginning.
Yeah, well, it's working out better for me than it has you. So
Well, in fairness, I started like this.
that's true.
And do not ever question the amount of personal enjoyment and fulfillment I get from stuff like that.
Uh,
Problem.
is it though?
So much. Like I'm like I want to. I'm not sure if I want to design a holster for this or if I need to look up and see one. I mean, these are new. They just came out in like January.
You don't say.
Well, in fact, I do say. Um, oh, nice. Got a good weight to it. It is significantly smaller than my regular carry gun. although it is larger than my semi-automatic 20. That's neither here. It's all about the pageantry of this guy. Like,
I can't think of you carrying a gun without thinking of Steve from Blue's Clues.
I don't think I posted that in here. I should.
Oh.
Oh man. I knew that he roasted everybody, and I thought he was going to, like, make fun of my belt or the back of my room or something. He's like, no, this must be Steve from Blue's Clues. I'm like, okay, that was unexpected. Oh, I should send that to my former boss. Be like, by the way, I was carrying a gun at work every day. Just what you should know. She'd be totally cool with it. In fact, some days I'm sure, but that's a whole.
Question is, how many times did you threaten somebody?
How many times did what?
You threatened somebody with it.
Never.
Not directly.
Never. Ever.
Just
Never, ever, ever, ever. Because as soon as you do that, unless it's like a real life-threatening situation, number one, when I went for my CPL course, the guy who taught it to me, so I've been teaching CPL courses 20 years now. Everybody that I've taught, I want to say two things to you before you leave. Yes, he says, number one, you are the only person I've ever taught a CPL course into the range. You didn't immediately shoot the target in the head. Okay, he says, that's good. That's exactly what you're taught to do. You're not supposed to shoot people in the head. That after now, video about shooting people in the head with a 22. I just got a 22, but that's a whole other story. Well, I got another 22. Fun. Anyway, that notwithstanding, he says, I want to compliment you on that. He says that tells me that in the right situation, you're going to make the right decision. And as part of that, he said, you're also, from my estimation, if a situation were to actually arise where a gun needed to be pulled, you would be the last person there to pull it because we're going to try and find any other way to resolve that situation. He also said, but when things started to hit the fan, you'd probably do it. Well, thank you, I think. I'm hoping that was the right thing to hope to be qualified as. I don't want to, I mean, most of that in my estimation would just be that I don't want to get my ability to carry any more taken away. Because that's always my concern, paperwork. That was really mostly true though. So yeah, he says, I'm the last person who would probably pull, but if I did, real business. I'm like, okay, thank you. So yeah, I would never threaten somebody unless like I was being threatened or good mentality. And always have at least 3 other options that you know before you.
Word.
Smart guy, except for his own life. Made bad decisions. Literally drank and smoked. What else is going? So yesterday being my last day, I was sitting up at the front desk and one of the assistants comes by and she says, "Hey, this attorney that I work with, he's in the office today," which is kind of, especially since the pandemic happened. He's only been in the office I think 6 times since last. He happened to be in the office yesterday. He says, "Hey, before you go where he goes, could you please go up to his office because I know kind of likes." Okay, sure. And okay, sir. And he's, hey, right. Of course, then he gets a phone call. He points at me. He says, "Don't go anywhere." I stand awkwardly in his door for 15 minutes while either he yells at his client or his client yells at him or both. I'm not quite sure which of those three it was. Someone was yelling at somebody. I was just standing there awkwardly going, "Man, I wish I could anywhere else right about it." And at the end of it, he says, "Hey, I hear you're leaving." I said, "Yeah." He says, "What's going on?" Because I've just responsibilities at a church. He says, "So you're going to be a minister?" And I said, "Yes." He says, "When is that actually going to be the case?" And I said, "Well, I'm, probably going to be getting my full license sometime in November when I one of our elders." He goes, "Okay, when that happens, let me know." Why? He says, "Well, I'm not really connected with any kind of church, and I'm planning to propose to my girlfriend sometime in the next couple of months, and I want you to officiate the wedding."
Interesting.
And I'm like, "That's really cool." He gave me a couple of other like very complimentary things he said about me, just because, I've known him for 4 years, but and like extra things beyond just like, "Hey, you're someone who I know who might potentially be able to do this legally in the eyes of Michigan." Um, I'm like, "Well, yes, I certainly could," but it's such a cool concept. I hadn't even considered that. I'm just like, okay, well, I'm going to go and I'm going to get my license, figure stuff out. I guess.
Yeah, I've threatened Ducky with Kuya several times.
Oh, that'd be fun. Although I don't know if he could, because
Why could he not?
because licensure, as far as I am aware, is state dependent.
Uh-huh.
He is
Yeah.
licensed in the state of Kentucky.
Yeah. I know where he lives.
So, I mean, how are you going to convince him to get licensed also in the state of Alabama, or are you going to go have your ceremony in
driving to Kentucky?
Just go to Kentucky. Oh, that'd be fun. I'll just show up there. That would be very interesting. I've been to Corbin a couple times. It's a place.
Is it though?
I mean, it's the like if you just in your mind hear the word Kentucky and you just follow that through to its furthest possible permutation, that's Corbin, Kentucky.
You're not wrong.
Like have you been there?
Yes.
Okay. Like it is the most Kentucky place in Kentucky. And not just because it's the home of Kentucky Fried Chicken. Did you get to go there, by the way?
He took me to the barbecue place.
No, not the barbecue place. The original Kentucky Fried
Oh,
Chicken.
no. We weren't. I was just driving through.
Oh yeah, you should go there. It's an experience. Unfortunately, it's like I would think if you're going to maintain like the museum they have there for the original Kentucky Fried Chicken, you should also maintain the original recipe, which they absolutely have not. It's like the same mass-produced KFC as it is everywhere else. It's like, darn it. I think you should do this the old-fashioned way here. But they didn't ask my opinion.
Yep.
Not even when I was there. How rude of them.
All right.
I'm going to give myself a blister. But yeah, did I have any pictures I could post in the chat here so people could understand exactly I mean? Um, 8. And technically, it was 2019 because I stopped there on the way.
Mm-hmm. ahead.
Yep. It's like old promotional materials. There's also one here of the original suit. That was cool. Fortunately, I stayed out of most of them. I can actually post them. Sass is paying attention. Hey, Sass! Ooh, here's the original kitchen. Uh, uh. Ba-da-da-da-da. And then this is the most Kentucky thing I saw the entire time I was there. I think is important to show. Nothing reason.
This is a picture of Kuya.
No. This is a picture of a little house on the right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I went there when Kuya was driving me around. Well, not driving me around, but I was riding with him. He was doing the bus ministry at his church.
Mm-hmm.
Driving around, and we pull up to this little shack, which it took us 40 minutes to get there, driving up the side of a mountain in his rickety old church bus.
Yep.
And we pull up here, and I'm looking at the house. I'm like waiting for people to come out, and you see the really, really rundown shack on the left there.
Yep.
That's where like 9 kids came out of. And I'm like, yep, that's Kentucky.
That's status.
Yes. You should hear what I say about Ohio. Like at least Kentucky has land features and interesting culture. Ohio is the most boring place in the United States with no redeeming qualities.
Have you
whatsoever.
not been to the Air Force Museum?
I've not been to the Air Force Museum, although I do have an aunt who lives right next to it. I have been to Cedar Point. And the thing is, I don't really view those as being necessary. Okay, so Cedar Point, okay, I'll give them that one. The Air Force Museum is like federal. They happened to put it in. Oh, I guess not, because we had the Wright brothers down there. Although I think the Wright brothers were originally from Michigan. They just went to. No. How did that go? So they were from Ohio and they moved to Kitty Hawk, I think, which was North Carolina. That's where they had the flight. First flight. So it was so bad the Wright brothers even left before they did anything of note. I don't normally rag. There's 2 things, okay, 3 things that I rag on without any qualms whatsoever. Number 1 is Ohio. Number 2, the French. 3 is Canada, which is basically the French light. And I'm a quarter Canadian, which, gives me license to do that, right? That's how that works.
Uh-huh.
You don't sound very convinced.
Totally.
Oh. It's been a really good week, Masters. It has been.
Good to hear. It's been a good week for me, too. Nothing to talk about, but it's been a good week.
And anything new betwixt you and Ducky? Any major conversations happening that would not be inappropriate to share on a not at all family friendly podcast?
Nothing I can discuss.
Okay. That's so sort of super helpful. There was so last week you came with a couple of topics, and we talked about one of them, which is attached to this podcast somewhere. I know where. Somewhere. And you remember what the other ones were?
I wrote them down and sent them to you in the Discord.
Sent to me.
Yeah.
All them being sent to me.
Before we started talking, I sent them to you and said, this is what I want to talk about so that I don't forget. Oh, my APAP machine.
Yep. We talked about that.
Did we?
Mm-hmm. That was the 15 minutes we got before.
Was it? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then axe throwing.
Yes.
We went axe throwing last Friday, and it was super fun. And I'm really good at it. And I knew I would be because I've done it before, but I didn't realize it was like riding a bike.
How so?
I stuck it almost every single time. And I was pretty accurate with it as well. They had the main target, and then in the top right and left hand corners, they had little green dots that were 7-pointers.
Mm-hmm.
And I hit those several times. And I also hit right around them several times.
Right.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I want to go back and do it again. We might have to go axe throwing when you come down next.
I mean, I'm down for it.
As well as going to the shooting range.
Absolutely. I mean, seriously, if you get a barkeep, that'd be kind of cool. I also, of course, Heritage makes a bunch of really cool guns, not just the barkeep. They make one that has a 16-inch barrel. Same action, same everything else. It does have an actual ejector rod. But what am I looking for? But it's really cool because it's one of the extensions of having a 3D printer. They have this ridiculous 3D printed shroud you can put over the barrel.
Mm-hmm.
Which may not be entirely the reason why I want to have one, but it's certainly not unrelated. Let's see. Got it in here somewheres. Heritage, Rough Rider, Enders. Perfect. Wrong chat. Try this one. Bam. And there's also a printable stock for it, which if you have
it looks like something out of Stargate.
That's typically how all movie guns come into being. Yeah. They start as a real gun, and they get adjusted from there. I posted somewhere before. Let me see if I still have it here. The Mandalorian's rifle originally started as a AK with some extra stuff slapped onto it, and Marshall whatever from episode 1 of season 2, his gun is just a AK with some extra stuff slapped onto it. Very iconic looking stuff. I'm amazed people aren't more aware how lazy the gun prop industry is. But yeah, with the 16-inch barrel on there, you can actually just throw a stock on it and nobody cares. If it's a 15.9-inch barrel, everybody. It's the people who will come and shoot your dog.
What? Come and shoot your dog?
You haven't heard that?
No.
The ATF is kind of known for shooting dogs. It's a thing that happens a lot. Like to the point that when the ATF Twitter a couple days ago posted something in regards to National Puppy Day, everybody got nervous. Okay, everybody in the gun community got nervous. Like, don't come for my dog, man. Don't come for my dog.
You don't even have dogs. You
I
don't even
know.
like dogs.
I do like dogs. I generally like other people's dogs better than my dogs because I don't have time or energy to deal with dogs, but I like them.
You and me both, brother.
I've had so many people be like, "You should get a dog." I'm like, I like dogs better than to get a dog for myself. Which, I mean, I guess you could also say is kind of the logic for why I don't have a girlfriend either. I like women better than that.
That's true. But yeah, I will be getting a dog as soon as I get a new place to live that will accept dogs.
Did hear this?
Yeah.
Are you getting Journey?
Yep. I'm okay with it.
Journey's a good dog.
Journey has gotten to where when I sit down on the couch, she will come and crawl in my lap. We were laying on the couch yesterday, and Journey came down and got in my lap and sat on Ducky's head.
I mean, that's very animal-like. Although usually cats are the ones who sit on people's head. Journey is not small.
Journey is not small.
Like if you look at that rifle on his back, this is from the concept art. That is just a straight up AK. They took off the selector, but that's straight up AK.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. And of course, that's not actually the design they used for production. They changed it, but initially it was just an AK. What did they use? I forget what they used. Some sort of, I think it was like some sort of like early German semi-automatic shotgun. I think I've seen it a couple places before. Like it was yeah. Again, cool concepts, difficult stuff. I'm not someone who can name every gun, but I'm working on it. Also, every time I'm trying not to turn this into gun talk, but holy cow, have I had some real difficulty only buying one gun this week, and I don't have the money to buy anything more than what people give me money to buy. And probably I should have saved it and used it for something more practical, but they specifically gave me money to buy a gun, and I'm like, who am I to argue with that logic? You mute yourself
logic.
again? I mean,
Nope, I'm here. I just have nothing to say.
well, if you have nothing to say, um, let's maybe wrap it up here, I guess.
Are you out of things to say too?
I mean, I could go on ad nauseum about how happy I am about being able to hear the sound in my life, but
Ad nauseum would be the problem with that.
yes. So I'm in the interest of not, causing actual illness to our viewership as much as possible, because again, we did listen to it. It's bad. Or at least I did. It's bad. Trust me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. It's probably worthwhile to consider knocking off here. And yeah. This'll we'll see y'all next time, I guess. Anything else to throw in here, Masters, at all?
I got nothing.
All right, well then, thank you all for tuning in, listening. Sass? Thanks for being active and engaged on the Discord. If you all have not yet joined the Discord, there'll be a link to that in the description down below, whether that's on YouTube, Podbean, whatever else other platforms we're on that I've quite forgotten about. And yeah, we will we highly encourage you to join the Discord because sometimes it helps things make a little bit more sense. And if you don't care about things making sense, well, I guess that makes sense because you're here and this place does not make sense. So we'll see you all, not really, but we'll speak random words into the ether of the internet at you all next time. Goodbye.